Hello and welcome to Race Report, a series of videos where I find interesting race bikes and I speak to their owners who've got equally interesting stories. And in this video I'm speaking to Mark Forsyth, former racer and, as most people would know, ex-editor of performance bikes. He's got a Ducati 888 Corse, which he raced back in the day and recently recommissioned. So you're going to see a little story about the bike. You may think it's a little bit strange that some of the cutaway shots have got the bike with a different number on. It's the same bike, but I'll explain why at the end of the video. Mark, thank you for inviting us down to look at your bike.
You're welcome.
It's amazing looking. I remember this vaguely back in the day, back in when you were working for PB. And just tell me a little bit about the story of this bike, because you've had it a long time, haven't you?
A very long time.
Yeah.
It was built, Ducati built these in the winter of 88 for the 89 season. And going back 30 years, I spent some time with Massimo Bordi. And he told me that their plan was to build 30, but because, what's a polite way of saying it, the financial state of Ducati at the time meant they could only build 17, which is what they did. So this is one of 17 888s.
Right.
It's badged as an 851 so that the spectators would think that that bike that's winning is the bike you can buy in the showroom. Yeah.
So this is an actual, not a factory bike, but it's a customer race bike. Would I be right in saying that?
It's the first bike that this established Ducati Corse.
Right.
So this was the first production run of pure race bikes for racing customers.
Yeah. So the modern day equivalent now would be, say, the V4s that are racing in BSB.
Yeah, exactly.
Glen Irwin.
Yeah.
They go to the factory, they buy a V4.
Not quite as powerful as Glen Irwin's bike, but
No. So what's the designation, the actual designation? An 888 Corse?
It's an 888 Corse, and they were dubbed Lucinelli replicas because they were like the bike that Lucinelli won at Donington on the year before.
Right. In the first year of World Superbike?
First year of World Superbikes, yeah.
Wasn't this colour, was it? It was tricolore, Lucinelli's one, was it?
Lucinelli's was red.
Yeah. Oh, it was red as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what led you to buy this bike in the first place?
I didn't buy it till 1991. I raced it in the 89 season for sports motorcycles. They were in Bollington then, up in Cheshire.
What championship was that?
Battle of the Twins.
Right. So what would you be up against there?
These. There were quite a few actually. I think there were 6 at one point on the grid.
Wow.
Roy Armstrong ran a 851 kit, which is effectively the same bike. They were the tricolore ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a few of these. Mark Ward had one. Ian Jones, Roger Winterburn from Windy Corner.
Wow.
And hot-rodded Panthers and...
Yeah.
But they were on a different level.
Yeah. Because they didn't race in normal superbike classes back then, did they? Like they do now. You wouldn't have seen one in BSB.
No, you wouldn't. No.
No. With the 750s and
Not
stuff.
till later.
Not till later on. Yeah. Were you racing before you raced this, or was
Yes. Yeah. I rode the year before for half a season for sports on a DB1 RS bimotor.
Wow. Yeah.
That was a lovely thing. That.
Yeah. So you got this bike, and what was the spec of it at the time? You had the. We'll come on to the engine later.
It came on slicks, Michelin slicks, with a lot of spares, barrels and engine components, pistons and that sort of thing. So it was a full-on race bike.
And what sort of power would it have made back then?
I think about 100.
Wow.
Yeah, which is
that's a lot.
Fairly lively. Yeah.
And what was the service life on the engine with that kind of power?
Well, I was lucky with this. Like I was saying to you before, it's still got the original engine with the original crankcases, which is a very rare thing indeed, because they were prone to snapping crankcases where the swinging arm pivot goes through.
Yeah.
But this one survived.
Wow. And what would it have cost back in the day, something like this?
18, I think. Yeah.
And what would like a GSXR 750 of the day cost? 4?
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Expensive bike. So just talk us through your racing history with this then.
I won the Battle of the Twins on it in 89.
Yeah.
And won, I can't remember now, It's a long time ago. A few races, yeah, a few lap records. I remember getting a lap record first round at Castlecombe.
Yeah.
And I got the printout sheet, and it said new lap record M Forsyth Ducati 888. Previous lap record B Sheen 1977. But well, they haven't been back since 1977.
Right.
So
That's pretty good. Cool,
and I lost it. That's the only piece of like printout that I should have kept, and I didn't.
Oh, what a shame. And what was it like to ride back then?
It was a bit of a handful actually, because the forks, the M1R forks, are not the best thing Marzocchi have ever produced. So it was flighty. I think it's probably prone to tank slappers.
Because you obviously were road testing back then as well. You would have ridden lots of different kinds of bikes. Was it a lot different to what people were being used to back then?
I think so, and I think the game changer was the fuel injection, and even by today's standards, it's still fairly advanced.
Yeah.
And just the throttle connection and feel you got from it was that was the biggest standout.
And then after you won the Battle of Twins, what did you do? Did you carry on racing it, or?
No, I did. The following season, I did a Supersport 600 at British Championship.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that season, borrowed this back to go and do a season in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
So a friend and I loaded our 888s into the back of a van, drove it into a shipping container.
Wow.
And did 4 months in New Zealand, which was epic.
Wow. And what kind of tracks? What tracks did you do there?
Wanganui.
Right.
But
so that's a road racing.
That's a street circuit.
Yeah.
Cemetery circuit.
Wow.
That was actually around. Was that the first?
The Boxing Day.
First round of the championship on Boxing Day, I think. Yeah. Second. Yeah.
I never knew you'd actually done road racing as well.
Yeah. It's done a TT as well.
Has it?
Yeah.
Who with?
Me.
Really?
Yeah.
That passed me by.
Well, actually, but for the senior, my teammate Ian Jones, who was obviously a lot faster than I was because he'd been before, and he was a great little rider. He did 113 on it back in the day when 120 was winning it.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. How many seasons did you do the TT for?
One. Yeah. I was going to do it again, and I had a deal lined up, and then witnessed the most horrific fatal as a spectator the following year, so '92 at the Manx Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I actually saw. It was the marshalling side that I saw, and I thought if that's keeping me safe when I come back, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
We actually had to get involved.
Right.
Say no more.
Yeah, say no more. So what happens? Did the bike go? You just lock it up in the garage and mothballs? What happened?
No, I bought it in 91 or 92, I can't remember.
Right.
And Kath was desperate for a new kitchen and had an inkling at what it was worth, so I stripped it. And it was in stacker boxes in the attic for a long time. She's got a new kitchen now, by the way.
That's good.
But which was that was a story in itself. So I gave the engine to a guy called Mark Whiteley, who'd built me a few really strong 888 motors before, and basically sort of forgot about it.
Right.
And then suddenly thought, I better get the engine back, and rang Mark Whiteley. He ran a business called Hobsport in Keighley.
Right. Yeah.
And the guy that answered the phone said, "No, Mark's not here anymore." And I went, "What?" He said, "No, we bought the business off him. He had an accident in Greece or something." And
Oh wow.
so I had to find the engine, and he put it in storage at a friend's house. And it was the guy Gordon that used to do the tyre warmers, HWW tyre warmers.
Right.
He put me onto a lead, somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that, and I got it back in the end.
Wow. When was that?
2012.
Wow.
And then gave it to a succession of people who said they'd rebuild it for me because it was all in bits, and didn't. So I had to keep getting it back. And eventually, Jeff Green,
Right.
the ex-Cinelli mechanic,
Oh yeah.
great guy. He did an absolute 0 hours build on it. Managed to find all the bits we needed. I don't think he could now, but
No. And that was the engine. What about the rest of the chassis? Was that all
that's just
intact?
Yeah, it was all intact. So it was jigged. Had to do some repairs, some brazing repairs for the footrest because I'd been off it a few times, obviously.
Yeah.
And just powder coat, new bearings.
It hasn't got its original engine in it anymore, is it? Because
No,
you're actually
no.
wanting to use this now, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. Of a man of advancing years, wanted an electric start.
Right.
So
Okay.
we had to push.
All right.
that.
So it had a. How did you start it before? With a roller?
In New Zealand, they were all push starts with a dead engine.
Oh right.
And
Yeah.
because I was only 25, that wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't fancy doing that now with that
Crikey.
compression.
Yeah.
So I bought an ST4S
Right.
for 1,800 quid
Okay.
and broke it, sold all the other bits. Actually got more than 1,800 quid for all the other bits.
pretty good.
So I've got a free engine, which had just been rebuilt.
ST4, so that's like a 996
Yeah.
engine as well.
Yeah. With electric start.
Yeah.
It was about 100 horsepower, fuels really nicely. So the idea is to parade it and just get it out on track. The tracks that will allow me with the...
Yeah, it's loud, isn't it?
it is quite loud, yeah.
So in its current state now, how long has it looked like this?
Well, it's looked like this since 2013,
Right.
but it was just a cosmetic build. And like I said before, needing a Foxley starter to start it, it just
Yeah.
didn't get used.
Yeah.
So I thought, what am I going to do? I'll make it usable. So hence the 996 engine.
Where have you been on it, you know, since you rebuilt it?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Barben Hill climb. That's
Right.
it. Yeah, last June.
And how was it?
Well, it's the first time I'd ever ridden it since 1990.
Wow.
So, a bit rusty.
But did it feel instantly familiar or not?
Yeah, I'd say so. But you're doing a hill climb like that on cold
Yeah.
tyres, which is like... And I was extremely worried about the wheels, like I said, because how old are they now? 1988. 37-year-old, is it?
Wow. So these, what, magnesium wheels?
Magnesium wheels.
Yeah.
I've had them crack tested, like dye penetrant and stuff, and they've been properly coated with the right coatings, but just... It was 100 mile an hour straight into a first gear hairpin at Barben, and every time I braked, I was just thinking,
Yeah.
please don't let
No.
don't snap those spokes. So it'll get some modern wheels. But
So yeah, so next time you'll see this this bike, it will be at Cadwell. We're going to be riding it on a parade there, aren't we? And Classic Motorcycle Racing Club. So what are your favourite parts about this bike? You know, what do you most like about riding it, or you know, the bits you like looking at the most?
I just like looking at it, full stop. But when you're riding it, because it's an open top to the airbox.
Yeah.
So you've got two 50 millimeter trumpets with no foam air filter, no lid on the top.
Wow.
And it's the induction noise that's the best bit when you're riding it.
Yeah.
Earplugs, definitely.
Drill into your head.
Yeah, it hurts. But this is a mod we did at Snetterton,
Yeah.
and Steve Wynn tried it on teammate's bike, and he just came whistling past me on the straight at Snet. So obviously it wasn't getting enough air. So it's got these two little grey Hoover pipes,
Yeah.
but it's just not enough.
And is all this bodywork original from back in the day?
No, fairing is one that I bought back in the day as a spare. Tank's original, that's Ali.
Yeah.
That's a repro seat from Germany. Front mudguard's original. The original fairings are all in the attic.
Yeah.
They're battered. Like repair on repair on
Yeah.
repair.
And what's the power delivery like? Is it quite usable? Is it aggressive?
Completely. No, you just ride it to the shops.
Yeah. I suppose, is this engine a lot different from the race engine? Is it much milder?
It's less cammy,
Yeah.
there's less compression, yeah.
And what about the handling? Because, you know, you always think back in the day these things were very light, they real sweet handling. Is that still the same?
It's big and it's weird because you sit in it rather than modern
right
bikes
dished in.
you sit on top of. So in that respect it's a bit different, but handling on somewhere ultra smooth, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Bit of a filling shaker.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is the modern way now, because Toprak has his
Yeah, he
really
does,
low,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
So he doesn't endo into all the corners.
He definitely would break these wheels.
He would, wouldn't he? And has it all been rewired as well for...
Yep. Roops
So this is Rupert Paul, XPV editor,
yeah.
keeping it in the family.
Roops rewires.
Yeah.
So it's like a bespoke loom. The original loom was proper crispy. But
Right.
37 years old it's going to be, isn't it?
And has the suspension been serviced since?
Ken at K-Tech rebuilt the forks and the shock, so that's about as good as they can get, really. But when I put the modern wheels in, I'm going to put the modern upside-down forks that are in the workshop in as well.
Okay.
It's just a plug and play then.
Yeah.
The headstock's exactly the same.
Yeah.
In fact, everything on Ducati's back to about 1981, so the first 500 Panther. Any frame will practically fit any engine because they just haven't changed.
Wow. And now they haven't got frames at all.
Yeah.
More or less.
Of course.
Yeah. Have you got anything to add about the bike before we sign off?
Actually, I was looking. I've got a massive folder of pictures and race results and stuff, and I cannot find it. It's somewhere, but I found a letter and a cheque, and it was a race we were doing in a track called Timaru in the South Island.
Yeah.
Great little track.
Wow.
And I was fourth, catching third. He was a Malaysian guy on a Marlboro Yamaha.
Wow.
And the last corner was like a 90 left, quite a fast entry, but I was starting to get the hang of drifting it. I thought, I've got this, like stand on the pegs a bit, and then on the penultimate lap, straight over the top, hit the tyre wall, and the crowd are standing on top of the tyre wall's got earth in it,
Yeah,
so they're standing, nice, yeah. So they're standing on top of it, and they go, mate, it's over there, and because they had a steering damper on, it spat me off, carried on its own onto the infield. There's a guy, he wasn't really a marshal, but he was thinking he was marshalling because he was just helping out.
Yeah.
Having a spliff in the middle of the field. And he saw this bike and he thought, I can get that. And he went running after it, caught it with a clutch, broke the screen with his arm, but that didn't matter. So I ran across the track, got back on it, finished, I don't know, 12th or something.
Yeah.
And my prize for that was a cheque for $15, which at today's rate, that's about a £5. So I thought, I'm not even cashing that, I'm just going to keep it.
Brilliant. That reminds me of, was it Stefan Mertens when he fell off his bike at Phillip Island, and one of these, and it just went all the way up pit wall on fire?
No, it was the Armco went through the tank, because the pump's in there pumping. Right. It was just pumping petrol onto the sparks. So it was a great shot, that.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, so in all the Havoc videos of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thanks very much.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy riding it.
Well, I can't wait to see you on it, for one, and I can't wait for a little go as well.
Yeah.
It'd be a dream come true for me.
I'll be wobbling.
Me too. Thanks very much, mate.
Nice one.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
Right, so this is the part of the video where we cut away to the Cadwell Park race paddock at the Classic Motorcycle Racing Club, and we talk about what Mark's bikes like to ride in the parade sessions. Unfortunately, leading up to the event, just a few days before the event, we realised that there's a 105 decibel noise limit, and Mark's bike way exceeds that. So rather than going along and risking it and probably get turned away, we decided not to go. But then there's the problem of finding where to go with it, because even at a Donington unsilenced day, which is 118 decibels, Mark reckons the bike's still too loud. So we're scratching our heads a little bit, and it's a real shame, because between when I interviewed Mark the first time and when I went to see him the second time, he'd prepared the bike, he'd stripped it to almost nothing, rebuilt it, polished it all up. It looks like a showroom bike now. Put the numbers on that we were going to parade at Cadwell, which is why the bike's got two different numbers. So it's a real shame that all that hard work has gone to waste. Having said that, we've got an idea of somewhere where we think we can run it. It will basically be just in a straight line, but to be honest, I don't mind that. I don't want to be risking Mark's bike, but at least we'll get to have a go of it. We'll get to feel the performance in a straight line, get to see it move, get to see Mark ride it, and most importantly, get to hear it. So in lieu of any actual race action, I'm going to leave you with Mark revving the bike up again, like we saw at the beginning of the video. But hopefully in a few weeks' time, there'll be a follow-up video with us actually riding it. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you soon.